You know, it's funny, you know, as I'm playing this, it's I'm talking about the wind gusts. You know, I can hear the wind outside right now. And it's snowy, just snowed a lot last night. And it's snowing right now, so it's perfect for immersion of the outside environment matching with the role-playing fictional environment. It's pretty cool. I advise you, if you can do that, maybe have your setting be like how it is outside sometimes and play it in-game. I think that's pretty cool for immersion. But anyway, so yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, I'm supposed to, with these triggers, I wanted to do a roll, you know, for one of my traits. I was going to do a charm roll with this old man, but I forgot to do it, so instead I'm going to do an intuition roll, which he has 37 that I'd have to roll under to do it. So okay, so they're walking, and I'm going to ask Mythic. I could either ask Mythic, or I can let's do a roll. He uses his intuition to see if they're in the right spot for a good tree. So kind of to give you an example how this plays out with Amazing Engine. So his intuition is 37. Got to roll under 37. He does. And his intuition is correct. They're walking along and they see some trees, some smaller trees. Oh, that's a nice small one there. Yeah, that's a little too small. I'm looking for something a little bigger. So they walk along here, and his intuition was correct. There is a huge tree right here. That's a big one. That's a big one. And might be even a little bit too big, but we'll see. In fact, he probably says, yeah, that is very, very big, sir. Are you sure you want that big of a tree? And so let's see what happens here in this next scene. 13. So 13. This will be more of a descriptor. Colorful. Yeah. And 82 for action. Official action. Colorful. To say, yeah, it's very green, and so, all right, it's official. It's official. I found me tree, and he's got his tools ready to go, and he's ready to cut down this tree, and oh, I suppose. He says, I suppose this one will do here. And so he goes to cut down his tree. Oh, you need some help there, sir. And he goes over to help him cut down his tree first. And I'll ask Mythic, does everything go? We're able to cut his tree down okay? So I'd say it's nearly certain. We're able to do it. So all I got to do is roll between 18 and 85. Yep, 58. And after some time there, able to get his tree. And let me help you carry it to your car, sir. And so he helps the guy take the tree to his car. and they go to the side of the road, and they able to get through okay. Ask Mythic, I'd say nearly certain. Ooh, 89, it's a little high. No, they're not able to get to his car. Perhaps the wind gust picked up. And so that'll be that scene. I'll write that because I asked Mythic usually around 2, maybe 3 questions before I move on to the next scene. And we'll see what happened here. I'm assuming it's that same gust that came through that knocked him down. Okay, so Stanley. In fact, I gotta put, he's a new NPC, so I'm gonna put 4. Put Old Man. I'll leave a blank for his name, which I still haven't rolled up his name yet. What's a good British name for an old man back then? Henry. Let's do Henry. Old Man Henry. My name's Henry. Okay. What happens next? What will happen next? I wonder. Let's see. So, maybe I'll do a roll. And I'll have now this is where I could have him push himself if I wanted to, but I don't think he needs to be like that. So let me get his card, his stats. Let's see. So his fitness, 41. So make a roll for his fitness. Or I could do a mythic roll, But since I want to show you guys, get you used to playing this kind of a system, or this campaign. So I got to roll under 41. I'll give myself a bonus. I'll do plus 10 because it's a medium-sized tree, and he's got help. So I'm going to give him a plus 10 here. I'm just going to do GM Fiat. I don't know if that's the right word, but GM rule here. Let's see. I'll make an exception. So instead of 41, he needs a 51. Okay, he would have made it anyway. So he helps get the guy, his tree, to the car and the vehicle, and they get it in there. Okay. Oh, that was quite the gust of wind. This weather's really acting up. Oh, I have a bad feeling. He says, these woods, these are fairy woods. Excuse me? What's that? Fairy woods. There's something in your mouth. These are enchanted woods. They say that some men that come out here don't come back. Some women that come out here come back changed and unlike themselves. Oh, well, is that what they say? Well, you best be off then. And let's see if the old man helps Stanley with his tree, since it's a big tree, and he's going to need help. So let's see if he does. I could roll, instead of using Leon Mythic so much, I could use a charm, 42. And I'd give him a bonus, say, again, plus 10, since Stanley helped him with. But that's like a 50-50 shot. So I'd say it's probably more than 50-50. So I'll do Mythic just to, let's see here. I could either give him a bonus, a plus 20, or I can go on the Mythic chart. So let's do We'll keep it in this game as much as possible. I'll give him a plus 20. So 62% chance that he'll stay and help him. Oh, no, no, he doesn't stay to help him. He's like, ah, oh. Yeah. So the charm didn't quite work on the guy, and he's like, ah, oh. I have no more energy left, lad. So I'm sorry, and the missus, she's waiting for me back home. But I say, I can wait for you here. Make sure you get it to your car okay. I suppose so. Thanks anyway. And he goes, Merry Christmas. And he goes back. And he goes back to get his tree by himself. Whew. Him and the tree. And let's see what else happens in this scene here. And this is our fourth scene. No triggers, so it's left. I only got 2 triggers in this game, so it's left wide open for at least, 3 scenes here. So let's see what else happens here. I go, does he approaches the tree here, and he looks for the best angle, and I can roll fitness, which I won't have any bonuses. Let's see if you can do it. Roll under 41. Get this tree chopped. $69. He's not able to quite do it by himself. It's just too much for him. It's just too much. It's going to take him too long to chop down this huge tree. So, yeah. So remember, an amazing engine, you got to roll under your scores. Okay, so these are, his original one was 21, but Faerie, Queen, and Country, it adds a 20 to each one. So he gets buffed up in this for some reason for the campaign. So yeah, he couldn't quite do it after some huffing and puffing. So he goes angry. He's angry now. He goes to one of the other trees, and it's like, oh, I suppose I'll have to try these other ones. So he goes to these other ones, which I'm gonna say he can do. It's a much smaller tree. Yeah. So let's see. I'm gonna ask Mythic, is he able to do it in general, or does something come up? Let's see here. So I'd say very likely. Ooh, 86. So no, he's not able. What happens though? I'd say he's physically able, but what happens? Let's see if we can set this up. Let's roll. 30. Feeble description. 11. Again, I only count the doubles if I'm asking the GM a question. Change. Feeble change. So I don't know what that means. I can't put it together. So I'm going to do, to keep things moving along, I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to say, I'm going to roll, first of all, I'm going to roll on the NPC chart. Maybe get some inspiration. 4. That's Henry. So, let's see. Let me roll one more. So this is where it gets a little tough. 33. Frightening. Okay, that's good. 61. Increase. Okay, I'm going to set this up. Stanley smells that smell again, that rotting smell. And a sense of fright comes over him, like a kind of a, from like an oppressed, like he gets that sense. It doesn't feel like it came from him, it just feels like it's happening upon him. And let's see here. He looks around and he's going to make an intuition roll. Let's see here. Let's see. Learning, intuition, psyche, willpower, position. Yeah, I'll make an intuition roll and see if it's something negative to do with either. Let's see. Is it with the old man? So I got to roll under a 37. Nope, failed to roll. So something frightening, some kind of frightening feeling in this general area. And I'm going to ask, does he come across this being, this that he saw earlier? I'm going to say it's nearly certain. I'm going to say near, so 18 to 35, it's yes. Yes. So, he comes across this being, and it's probably, I'm going to say, it's around this tree. He can see something peering back at him through the tree, like between the branches. What was that? And that's a good cliffhanger for this scene. And we'll move on to, I'll write that down. Right here, that whole scene. And then that'll take us right here to this side for the next 4 scenes. I'm going to ask Mythic, what is he seeing? Is he seeing the goblin? And these goblin fairies and fairies in general are known for shape-shifting. So I'm going to say maybe it's does he see the goblin? Or for this, he doesn't know if it's goblin or not, but does he see it for what it is? I'd say I can roll an intuition, or I can do a 50-50. Let's do an intuition roll. I seem to be doing it a lot. Plus, his skills are fairy lore, so maybe a learning. Let's see, intuition. Nope. So he looks up. It seems to be some kind of an owl in that tree. So Stanley seems to continue and cut this tree And let's see what happens. Is he able to cut the tree down? I'm going to say it's not looking good because of this goblin in the area. So I'm going to say unlikely. $63. So is he? No. Alright. So there's some kind of conflict happening here. He's not, because it's a simple tree, but this owl comes out. Woo, woo. And it does something. And let's see what it says, or what it does. Let's see. So I guess the conflict has come early. It's come to Stanley. So much for that trigger. I think we're here at the climax of the adventure. Let's see what happens. 43. Important. This is a description. Important. And 26. Create. Important. What can I do with that? I'm creating some kind of a It's a shapeshifter, so it loses a stamina point already. I got to come up with the stats for this monster. I can show you real quick on my phone. This is a Bougain in England. It's called a Bougain. And those are the stats. I'm going to go with the lowest stats because it's a solo adventure. So 40 physical, 30 intelligence, 40 spirit, and 30 influence. So they can conceal and transform. It's got claws, so it can do some damage. A dangerous goblin full of evil tricks. Believes in creating grievous harm to mortals. So, I gotta keep track of the stamina points. I gotta do the stats. And let me roll all that up and see what happens next. So it's gonna transform. Let's see. Since it likes trickery, let me roll one more time and see what I can come up with. 57. Modern description. 75. NPC description. A modern NPC. So I'm going to say it's going to use another stamina point. That's 2 stamina points. From owl, it'll transform into a woman, a beautiful woman. That comes out from behind the tree and faces Stanley. And gets in front of him because it's stopping him from cutting the tree. And, hey there. What's that? This makes no sense. And what are you doing behind that tree? I'm going to make an intuition roll. Yeah, let's see. He fails it terribly. So to him, there's this woman coming behind the tree. And, hello there. I can't have you chopping down this tree. What's that? Why is that exactly? And he's just stunned by her beauty. And let's do a willpower check to see how stunned he is. Does he make... It's 32 on his willpower. 100. So he's infatuated. He totally failed that. You know. Wow. So he's infatuated with this woman. The goblin has him in its spell. And let's see what happens next. I think that's the end of the scene. I'm going to roll up the stats for it. And we'll see how this plays out. It's not looking good.